It's finally happening. A Brazilian city is falling apart. Maceió, the capital of Alagoas, a state known by some as the Brazilian Caribbean, is now facing an environmental disaster that remained sort of hidden from national headlines for about 6 years until now. And today, it started materializing more than ever. The disaster caused by Braskane's salt mining operations was a ticking time bomb. Despite early warnings back in the 80s, operations just kept going because, capitalism. When it all started materializing back in 2018, it was basically completely ignored by the media because, just like a YouTube channel called Meteor Brazil says, Braskem, nobody calls them out because they sponsor us. I'll try to make a very objective summary of what happened. All of a sudden, we heard in some parts of the city, people experienced an earthquake. Houses started cracking little by little, and the streets started sinking. Holes here, holes there. Braskem never recognized they did it, and they had the help from politicians to, make an agreement and pay property owners. But the problem is this, I don't know the word in English, I'm sorry. But if your house costs $500,000, they paid you like $300,000 and that's it. And by the way, the property was transferred to them, so they barely paid for material damages, let alone all the other sorts of damages, people leaving decades of memories. It's very, very bizarre what happened. To make things worse, in one of the editions of Big Brother Brazil, they spent quite a lot to say, hey, we take care of the environment. By the way, they would have a space in COP28. They canceled their participation in COP28 because of what's going on right now in my city, because then they would have some explaining to do, right? This whole thing affected directly about 60,000 people, but the whole city suffers because Maceió is, in Brazilian terms, a small capital. We have like 1 million people living here, and 20% of the area of the city was affected by this thing, and the risk areas just keep growing. Oh, now this is a risk area, you have to leave. And some people didn't want to leave because, of course, where are they going to go, right? To schools, like they're sort of refugees almost in their own city. And it's so funny because the police said, if you don't leave, I'll have to arrest you. But the people who caused this, both from the company and the government, the mayor, the not only this term, but the whole thing, like over decades, everyone is guilty. None of these people have to go to prison, apparently, and there's a heavy lobby to just let it be. While people have to go to schools instead of, I don't know, the company pay them a very comfortable hotel room. That would be the least they could do. But the rest of the city also suffers because traffic jams are impossible. I have a friend from my city who's been living in São Paulo for over a decade now, and he was here recently, and he said, dude, traffic is just as bad as Sao Paulo now. That's crazy. Yes, it is. And also, if you consider that 20% of the city is now compromised, the prices of rent and real estate itself, it's all gone up. We're a small capital, very timid economy, and I don't know, tiny apartments are costing just as much as apartments in São Paulo. It, it's really crazy. So yeah, the whole city suffers. It's not only the people who are directly affected; they suffer the most, of course. So it's and it's funny because this mayor now, he implemented Instagrammable places. A giant beach chair, like it's all fun and interesting, but That's the thing with my city. It's designed for tourists because we have very beautiful beaches, and the nature is just amazing here. But it seems like it's not made for residents. And on social media, they were trying a little bit of damage control, saying, "Hey, tourists, this whole thing is taking place in a non-touristy area. You can come. It'll be fun." So yeah, now about 20% of the city is a ghost town, and this is happening way too much in Brazil. About 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I don't know, valley barriers broke, people were killed, rivers were contaminated with very toxic materials. It's still a beautiful place. I'm just making this sort of call out for the world to know. If you want to know more about this situation or my state, my city, or Brazil, or whatever the hell it is, let me know. With this channel, I don't plan to have a very specific subject. I'm talking about a very serious thing right now, but tomorrow I can record something really stupid. And that's what I decided to do because otherwise I wouldn't do a single video because I just have way too many ideas due to ADHD, and I have to stop to get out of ideation and just do it. So yeah, subscribe, leave a comment. I'll be glad to answer. Listen to the scientists. Ciao.
Look at that. It is because of the sort of earthquake, because the soil is sinking. So that's pretty much happening to all the houses here. People left the houses and they took the windows and what could be used or sold. I don't know if the owners did it or if, I don't know, someone else did. It's crazy. Again, like a house, and in the very back, a building. It's not focusing right. This sentence says, the neighborhood of Pinheiro asks for help. Look at that. The sentence says, we used to be happy, and that I'm trying to restart my life. I want my house back. The parents of a friend used to live in this house here. Now it's bricks. Man, so many lives affected. Look at it.